I despise counting calories. In fact, I absolutely hate programs that force you to count calories, count points, track your macros. Why? Well, mainly for two reasons. The first one is even if it works, if it's not something that you can follow for the rest of your life, then how are you going to be successful with it? You're not. But second, it also encourages neurosis. And I'm being real for a moment. I know because I did this for 13 years as a bodybuilder, prepping for shows, had others do it as well. And it instills a neurosis that is not healthy for any of us. So, why have I gone back to tracking my macros? Well, for a very simple reason. I believe wholeheartedly in the approach that we take. Because why? Because you can do it for the rest of your life and actually have success. But what I've noticed with myself recently, and I noticed it in some clients as well, is inconsistencies. Meaning, Corey Beth touched on this the other day. We tend to get a little cocky at times because we start following a system, a program, it works, we feel good about it, and then we sort of let things slide. And I recognize for myself that I had let things slide recently. And so I wanted to go back and spot check myself. I wanted to see how off am I really? And so I decided, utilizing our Pure Physique app, that I was going to start tracking for the next 1 to 2 weeks just to check and see exactly where I'm at. And, it's really eye opening because, yeah, so many times we think we're doing really well and that we're on point. And then all of a sudden, when we see the numbers, and granted, the numbers are not completely accurate. So if you are a MyFitnessPal person, always tracking in, measuring your foods and all that, listen, the truth of the matter is you're probably off by anywhere from 20 to 25% in terms of caloric intake, in terms of macros. So this is part of the reason why I feel like it's a flawed approach, because when you are getting hyper focused on these numbers and yet you're not actually hitting those numbers, I mean, that's part of the frustration as to why something's not working anymore or why it stopped working. So that said, I still think it's important though to take a step back, to look at the full picture and see how close am I? And so I know relatively the numbers that I'm trying to stick around most of the time. And yes, I'm only using my hands as my measure, but I wanted to see with that, am I close? Am I really hitting those numbers? And all of a sudden I realized in the past few days alone that, maybe I have been taking a few too many BLTs, bites, licks, and tastes, right? Kids leave a little something, those chicken nuggets on the plate, and I'm snatching it up and grabbing it. But when you're tracking, you realize that, oh, wait, hold on a second. There's only this much left for the day in terms of fat. I don't want to eat that because that's going to add to my total. And then what about dinner? Or that looks tasty. I'm going to grab that. And then you realize, oh my gosh, I only have like X amount of carbs left over. This is nuts. So understanding that all these little things that we do that typically take us off track, sometimes we need to reset, right? We need to recalibrate. And for that reason and that reason alone, because I am not going to be hypocritical here, for that reason alone, I think there is value in occasionally spot checking yourself by tracking what you're doing. And listen, even if you're not entering it into MyFitnessPal or the Pure Physique app, even if you're just journaling it or taking pictures of your food and reviewing it throughout the day, those are the little things that you could be doing that can make a huge difference in keeping you on point. Because so many times we'll look at the plan that we have in front of us, say, hey, I got this, no problem. Then all of a sudden, after it works, we start to forget about it. And we start to let the little things begin to creep back in. And so we need a means of being accountable, maybe not just to someone else, but just to ourselves. So for me, I am here to confess that I have started tracking again. Now, you won't be seeing me do this for a long time, but it is interesting to just see how far off I actually have been as of late and what I need to do to get back on my game, because it's 8 weeks to my birthday and all of us need an event sometimes. a target to shoot for. And every year I use my birthday, the 8 to 12 weeks leading up to it, as the time in which I'm going to really focus in. And it just so happens that my birthday falls the day after the first day of summer, which is great because, hey, if you take the next 8 weeks to gear yourself up, then guess what's going to happen? When the summertime comes, you're not going to be scrambling to try to get yourself in shape because you're already going to be there. So anybody who wants to join me on my journey, please let me know. I am pulling my wife into it with me. I am pulling our trainers and our coaches at Pure Physique in with me. And so I want to pull you in as well. Let's do this, people. All right. We got 8 weeks. Let's grind it out. Let's get it done. We'll see you guys soon.